What is up? Welcome back to Southern Unscripted. You guys, first and foremost, if you're tuning in on YouTube, I apologize that I look like absolute garbage. I've just been so busy, and we fit these in where we fit these in. And I wasn't gonna do hair and makeup, for you. um, okay. I am like hitting the ground running. The year is like kicking off so intensely, but in a very good, positive way. Just coming back from our final walkthrough at our venue for the Mardi Gras ball that we have this coming weekend. Or next weekend, sorry. I am so excited about this ball. Our theme, everything, the details is going to be top tier. So we still have tickets if you want to come and get tickets. And if you're in the Houston area, um, I am very proud of this and this crew that we've been building. Um, like just the way that people really want to contribute and help. I'm just so proud. And first and foremost, so grateful for the founding members who just kind of believed in me, went out on a whim, right? These people live in Texas. I'm coming from Louisiana. I basically took Mardi Gras with me, and these people are just trusting me. And I am so grateful for that. But I'm just high on life because I'm coming back from the walkthrough. So I just had to say that. But that's literally not what we're talking about today. We're going to go in and talk more about goals. And, I finally picked my word for the year. And I am so big on reflection. Like, I'm so big on just like really sitting with myself and thinking and digging deep of my life. Like, literally every step I take, everything I do, everything I take a look at. Because obviously we're here for a purpose. So, coming into thinking about what my word was going to be, my word from last year was consistency. And I feel like when you have consistency, you have your fire, you have like excitement. You're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this a lot. And you're just doing all the things because you're just trying to stay consistent. And I think I had a pretty good year of being consistent in 2025. Honestly, I said yes to a lot of things. And then it's kind of like it prepared me for my word this year, which is intentional. And I feel like intentional brings peace, calming to it of like, I'm going to be more intentional of what I say yes to, and I might be more intentional on saying no to some of those things rather than just, saying yes to all the things. And it just felt right, intentional. I'm going to be more intentional of where I put my time. I'm going to be more intentional of who I allow in my space. Um, because ultimately everything that I do and the way that I move is for me and what's best for me and my family and my goals. And for a long time, I've people pleased, and I feel like I'm out of that window. Like, it doesn't even phase me anymore. I'm not people pleasing. If it's not right, if it doesn't feel right, it ain't for me, right? Um, so the consistency pretty much taught me to be consistent, but this year I'm going to be intentional. I feel like last year I was in autopilot, especially towards the end of the year. And whenever you are in autopilot, it almost feels like burnout. I'm not gonna lie. Towards the end of the year, I was burnt out. I was just like, I just wanted to sleep, you guys. I was just so tired. It was such a busy season. And like looking back at it, I don't know if I'm going to do that again this year. Like, I'm going to prepare myself that way when busy season comes, I am fully prepared um to not let myself feel like that, cuz so tired to where I'm like, I got my jammies on at 7 p.m. ready to go to bed. I don't know, is that normal at my age? Because I don't know. I kind of like it. I love nothing beats being in your jammies. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was definitely in autopilot, and I allowed it. I allowed it because I just wanted to be consistent, 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 consistent. Yes, I'm going to do it. Yes, let's be consistent. It's just like, it's almost like I'm just trying to teach myself the repetition. Whenever I'm being intentional, it feels more. authentic to me versus reactive. Sometimes, we respond quickly. I like intentional allows me to pause. Like if there's something that I need to, I need to find a solution to something, I have a fire to put out, whatever it is, intentional, this word allows me to pause, think more on it versus like just making a decision, allowing myself to be frustrated or flustered or whatever, That's why I'm like, this word is just really special. And it seems I'm in this, the networking group. I was about to say I'm in this networking group. I think you guys already know that. But we kind of all shared what our word was. And it seems like a lot of people have the word intentional, which I love because it's almost like we're all on the group that I'm surrounding myself with. We're all on the same page, which is even better for my surroundings, my spirit, um, yeah, and all that jazz. So I want to talk about this shift. And this goes back 8 years. Um, I used to not read books, and I just remember me and my husband were going on a trip. We love to travel for our anniversary. And for the first time ever, I was like, I'm going to get a book for the plane and the beach. Never really was into reading before that. Never was into it. There was this book called Being a Badass at Making Money. It just, catchy title, right? Everybody wants to be a badass and make money. So I was like, catchy title, grabbing this book, let's go. Read this book and I got like locked in. And I just remember having an epiphany on the beach. I was in Dominican Republic, actually. My favorite place because that's where me and my husband got married. I just remember being on the beach, reading this book. I actually had my kids with me. It wasn't an anniversary trip, it was a family trip. And it's like it hit me like, man, there's so much more to life. Like, what am I doing? Because it just seemed like my day to day life was like, you wake up, you go to school. I mean, not school, you go to work, take care of your kids, go to bed, drink on the weekends, repeat. People live their whole life like that, right? It's pretty normal, actually. But what I mean of like, there's more to life and the shift, I mean, like, what am I doing? Everybody could live like that, but like, why? Why are we doing this? For me, it's like shifting something inside of me. Like, we all have problems. That's the truth. We all have freaking problems. Like, we all can be angry and petty and hold grudges, and we all have this side of us, especially women, because we are just a ball of emotion, right? And I don't want to be a bitter person. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be a bitch. Um, I didn't think that then. Now I think that, but it took me to do some digging. After I read this book and I had this shift, I would literally went back home and it was like, that's when I started getting to like the life coaching. And this was, I mean, Marley was a baby. So 8 years ago. So yeah, my first real shift of, you know, identity and awareness of like, what am I doing with myself, with my life? I want more. I just knew that I want more than just the day to day grind of working on repeat um, by reading a book. That's why I'm always like, you need to read a book. I know my husband gets so sick of me telling him to read a book. I just think I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you what to change. I mean, I can, but that doesn't mean you're going to actually listen and you're going to actually do it. But if you read a book and and what you read in it is almost telling you the same thing that I told you to do, for whatever reason, you receive the book better than someone telling you what to do. It's just a natural thing. That's why I'm like, I can't tell you. You got to go. You have to figure it out yourself. And reading books is where it like gets the juices rolling inside that brain, and like you really start to process and think about things differently. So that was like my first shift, and then I that was when I really went on the journey of like honing in, and a lot of my issues started from my childhood traumas. I've had a lot of abandonment, like my dad left me when I was um I say he left me. I mean, he was still present. My parents divorced when I was 2, so abandonment. Um at that point my sister started taking care of me. Well, my sisters, the 3 oldest, are so old, just kidding. They're much older than me, that when I could remember them living in the house with me, they started living their own lives and they left. Abandonment. It was like I was stranded again, alone. So I had all kind of issues that I had to work on that I didn't even know existed. It was just like that's part of your childhood traumas. That was the first time that I started realizing I was growing into a different version of myself after I had that shift and I started doing the work and I really started, growing into a new version. I'm not done. I still have work to do. I still have flaws, don't we all? Uh, but that's why I'm just so big on like new year. What are we going to change this year? Because for things to change, you have to change. If you want something different, you want these goals that you're putting down. If you wrote a letter like we do, like if you want these things, sometimes it's not just, how can I say this? For example, if you're in sales and you need to talk to 10 people a day, let's just use this analogy, and you're not getting it. But maybe there's something inside of you. You're lacking the confidence, you're lacking the self-worth. Maybe that's why you're not getting those people, even though you're talking to 10 people a day, right? But I can promise you, if you go work on your confidence and you go work on your self-worth, you will present yourself so much differently that the chances that you nail 1 to 5 out of the 10 you talk to today is more high. So I promise it's always deep rooted work that needs to be done. If you have these goals and you're not reaching it, it's much deeper than just doing what you're supposed to be doing as far as your job. So, with that said, doing the work, you'll start to notice that you're showing up differently than you were years ago because you did the deep rooted work. You have confidence. A lot of people in their jobs and career suffer from imposter syndrome. I've went through it. Um sometimes it just takes repetition. Like I think it's a normal thing, but you still have to push through. And sometimes it is because you lack, again, the confidence, the self-worth, your value, the value that you bring to the table. I noticed, honestly, when I started reading books and doing the work, that I was just showing up completely different. I was just this new person. And at that time was when I was partnered with Herbalife Nutrition, which I'm still partnered with. Um, I'm just not like building the organization the way I used to, but I was showing up so different. Like I was just balls to the walls, ready to hit the ground running. And I put it literally in front of every single thing. I put it in front of my family. I put it in front of my friends. I lost some friends because of it. Um, but I noticed I showed up differently. And then when I realized I lost all the things that I love, or like it changed relationships, it did make me sad, and then I have to like refigure out how to rebuild those things, but this new version. And that's why I lost friends, because in this new version, some of my friends loved me through the hard times, and then some just didn't. And that's okay too, because we weren't meant, like, our chapter ended of our story. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing negative. I don't think. I still love everybody very much. Um so with all that, my revelation was the beliefs that I used to have of like, you need to work so hard, balls to the walls, balls to the walls. I've totally outgrown that. Like, I can still put my family first and I can still say no when I need to say no. And I can still make time for me while I am still going to be a hard worker. I don't know if I translated that very well or if I scrolled too much on that one, but sorry about that. But in the midst of it, it's taught me to slow down. It taught me to choose differently. Um, and what I mean by that is I'm choosing my family first for sure. I've learned how to slow down. I say I've learned how to slow down. I literally just told you I was going so hard at the end of the year that I was burnt out. But luckily, right after the end of the year, it was a new year and we're ready to go again. Um, but my point in saying all of this, because it might not even make sense to you, and I'm totally squirreling, um, a new year is the perfect time for you to reflect on all the things that worked, on all the things that didn't work. And it doesn't necessarily have to be your careers. It could be people you're hanging out with. Like, oh my God, like this is just a negative space. I love these people so much, but it's like, it's just not working for me. Whatever it is that is like not bringing joy, I guess that would be the best way to explain it. Your job isn't going to always be joyful, because there's stress that comes with it, but if you love your job, you know that you're still going to continue to do that. But in a nutshell, I say all of that because I had to choose my word. It was easy for me to choose this year's word because I reflected on last year and last year's word and what that looked like for me. And it reminds me of like when I shifted, when I started showing up as a different person. Can I show up even better? Can I, like all of these things, I just try to reflect on myself, which allows me to be better day to day, whether it's my mom job, my wife job, my actual jobs, um, my Mardi Gras ball, like whatever it is, it's like it's almost molding me to be a better leader. It's molding me to be a better friend, a better wife, like all of the things. That's why it's so important to find that. And I think what people struggle with is they aren't willing to find it on their own. It's almost like they need someone to hold their hand. I just decided one day to read a book because I was going on vacation. I had no intentions behind this book at all. I just wanted to be cute with a book on the beach, and that evolved into literally the person I am today. I know that sounds crazy. There was a lot of work in between, but 8 years now, and I have more grounding. I have more awareness of who I am. It's almost like self-discovery, but much, much deeper level. Um, Sorry, I don't know if that's growled anyways, but when I was thinking about this and what I was going to talk about in our goals, I obviously a common goal that people have, especially when they're working, will revolve around money. Money is essential. It's essential. We need more money to build business. We need more money to put into our businesses to make everything efficient. If you need CPAs, if you need whatever, you need money to do any of those things. If you have big dreams, you need money to kick off a new business. If you like whatever. And what's really interesting is no one, I say they, but no one teaches us about money, how to manage money, how to invest in money. Like I am in my 30s and I am just starting to become mature with money. Um I'm sure in your years of growing up you've heard money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't make you happy. It's like it's almost like when you hear that so often growing up, you start to think it's bad. You start to think it can be evil, And those beliefs shape the way that I've avoided or feared money. So it's like I always wanted money, but I didn't want to be bad with money. I didn't want to be a bad person because that's what I was told. It's evil. But it's actually not evil. It's so essential. We need it. Like, we need to normalize talking about money or having better relationships with money. And I I had this epiphany, like, oh my God, money itself isn't the problem. It's my relationship with what I was told. Like, it's my relationship with it, but it's like what I was told. It was like what I was told to believe. And that's so crazy because in that book, that's what it said 8 years ago, but it didn't register. Um, so my mindset around money has changed tremendously. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and go brag, there's a difference between that. You're not going to brag about how much money you have, but you actually need money um to survive. Like, you need money to eat, you need money to pay for your car, like all these things. And um so money maturity to me actually means just understanding that, one, it is not bad. Two, it actually does make you happy. I don't care who you are, it makes you happy. Um, because you can buy things with it. You can treat yourself. Like, if you make money and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go get a facial today. Or for men, they're like, I want to go play golf. I deserve a day to go play golf. Golf is not cheap, by the way. That is a very expensive, constructive hobby. Um, but just maturing in the aspect of money is realizing that it's not evil, it's essential, it's needed, it does make you happy, and it's okay to say that out loud. And I want to normalize that, because what happens when you stop avoiding money and you start leading with it is, it's like a mindset shift. It's like, then all of a sudden you become a money magnet. It's like when you can shift your mindset about money, then it's almost like you attract it. So let's mature with money, you guys. So moving to the word intentional with money, how does being intentional with money change stress, choices, and peace? Because I'm intentionally going to make a shit ton of money, and I'm going to intentionally stop spending a lot of money on clothes. And listen, if you got a good bit of money in the bank, it brings less stress, more peace. Sorry, but it does. Now, spending money also brings less stress, but not necessarily more peace. So pick and choose, but you got to be mature with it. So if you feel overwhelmed, guess where I'm going to tell you that you can start? Get a book. I have an arsenal of book recommendations. I don't know where you are in this season. I don't know what your struggle is. You can write them in, but I would still direct you to a book. Whatever that book, like whatever you're needing. Like, if you lack self-confidence, then we're going to find a book about confidence. If you lack, um, you know, habits, discipline, anything, Atomic Habits is a great book, by the way. I don't know where you are in this season, but I can say, if you are listening and you feel overwhelmed right now, the year, we're kicking off January, we're midway in January, and you're just like, I'm already overwhelmed, and we just started the year, and I told myself I was gonna do XYZ by this time. Get a book. Get a book. Podcasts are another great way. You could just listen for 25, 30 minutes. I like a book, but I do listen to podcasts, but usually I like reality TV. So it's like, sometimes when I'm listening to podcasts, it's gonna be like either that. I love Call Her Daddy, but I also love, what is it? Murder mysteries. So when it comes to like my actual growth, I'm going to lean on a book. But they have great podcasts as well. You just need to find Find what it is that you want to work on first. Is it, you know, it could be goal based, right? It could be discipline. It could be self worth. It could be confidence. It could be um, not caring about what other people think. That is like the hardest thing. There's so many people that are people pleasers and they just care so freaking much about hurting people's feelings and all this bullshit. And it's like, if it doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve you. What do you care about what other people think? But there is books for all of this. Let Them by Mel Robbins. She is my absolute favorite. Love her podcast. Um she's amazing. She is amazing. I would say start there, honestly. But if you're feeling overwhelmed, pick what it is that you want to work on and start there. And some questions that you can ask yourself this year would be more like, am I doing what's best for me or am I doing what's best for them? And by them, I mean whoever you're trying to people please. Huge question. Huge question. Another question you can ask yourself is, what have I done today that's going to help my business grow? And if you don't have a business and you just have, a job that you show up to every day, what have I done today to be better at my job? Because there's no perfect human. I really don't care what you say. Everyone has room for improvement. How can you be better? Ask yourself that this year. Like, try to find something that you can do consistently, habitually, that's going to make you better. Something I had in my letter last year was I wanted to get closer to God. Towards the end of the year, I was being really hard on myself because I wanted to get closer to God. And then when I opened my letter, I was like, wow, where I was at the beginning of the year, by the end of the year, I was so much closer to God. And I had no idea until I read the letter and was like, I actually did it habitually and it worked. But I'm just so hard on myself all the time because I'm just yearning and the desires and everything to be um better. And another thing that you can reflect on would be focus on progress, not perfection. Because while I love perfection, is that real? Is there a real thing as absolutely so perfect? I don't know. Progress is progress. If you're 1% better today than you were yesterday, you are progressing, sister. Like, and I can't stress that enough. I'm hard on myself, so I might need to be 5% better than yesterday. But I wasn't always like this. In the beginning, when I started this journey 8 years ago, I was just looking to be better somewhere. And it really starts in your daily habits. There's another good book that you can read, something as simple as start with fixing your bed every day. Fixing your bed every day, and you don't miss a day, you're building discipline. Drink so much water every day, you're building discipline. I brushed my teeth, I know this sounds crazy, for 3 months straight with my left hand. I'm right-handed. Because I read somewhere that if you start doing something with your left hand that you're not used to doing something with your left hand, it's almost getting that side of your brain to work because you're not using it often. And I did. Like, it was like, I'm so disciplined. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. I'll lock in, I do it. I don't turn away from it. I am a very disciplined person. My husband is not. He's not disciplined. We're working on it. He has been fixing the bed, you guys, and while it is not the way I would fix it, to me, that's progress. 1% is progress. And I told him, like, he's like, "You saw the bed, it's fixed." I'm like, "Yeah, you did great." He's like, I said, and he was like, "Could I have done better?" And I'm like, "You could have done better, but if you did that and you do it like that every day, to me, that's better. That's better than what you've been doing, which was not doing it, right?" So, progress over perfection, huge for this year. I think everybody can lean into that. So, something that I am still learning in this season of growth is just being a student. Like, I am just trying to be a good student. you should always be a student. I'm always open to learning. I am partnered with somebody right now. And so, like, I'm always used to just being my own leader. And so, I am learning so much. But with that, you got to be patient. You got to not race for perfection. And I'm still learning that right now myself. Progress is progress. I'm being a student. I'm trying to take all the notes instead of focusing on perfection. So I'm with you guys. I'm also giving myself permission to I'm giving myself permission this year to say no more. Like if it doesn't fit on my schedule, it doesn't fit on my schedule. What is so crazy is today um I had 3 people message me from back home, 3 in one freaking day. This is my test, obviously. When are you coming back? Are you coming back for this? Coming back for that? We need to take pictures. We need to do this. We need to do that. And like immediately feels overwhelmed because the reality is I don't want to go back home. And not like in a negative way. I just don't have anything there anymore. Like nothing there serves me anymore at all. And I'm building a life here. So I have a little, it's really, and my jobs, I work on the weekends, not always, but sometimes I do. Like my job, I work 24/7. Sometimes I'm working in my bed at night. Like it's a 24/7 thing. And when I go back home, it's like I have to step away from all those things. I moved here to build a life here. I love the life I'm building here. So it's like I don't want to pause any of these things to go back home. I don't. Um, so I'm giving myself permission to say no to like, you know what? I'm not going. I'm not. And there's a part of me that feels bad because I feel like they feel like I should go back home. Um, when they probably don't care, they probably are like, they understand, they're probably like, yeah, I get it, which is why they don't come here because they have their own freaking life too. That comes with the growing pains of moving away, but I'm giving myself permission to be okay with it. Like, it's okay. This is just part of it. And I'm going to give myself permission. But I want to know what you're giving yourself permission to do differently this year because, again, for things to change, you have to change and you have to implement something new to where you can truly experience growth in a year cycle. I have been focusing on peace. Peace would be another good word. Um, things, what does peace mean to me right now? It means being at home with my family. My husband is my best friend. I really don't need friends at this point. He's my best friend. We talk about everything from business, advice. I'll call him. I'll be like, look, I need a vent. And he'll give me advice. I'll call him. Uh, he's my best friend. I want to hang out with him. He's the only person that gets me. He's the only person I feel the most comfortable around. He's the only person I can be myself outside of my sisters. But he's the next person outside of my sisters that spent the most time with me in my life. So peace to me means just to be, I don't want to say comfortable because I feel like that could be a negative word because you should always want to feel uncomfortable to actually experience growth, right? It just means I'm not going to give I'm not going to give people access to me the way that I used to, When I was building an organization, I was there for people 24/7. And while I loved it because I love pouring into people, I love helping people, it was also draining because you know, sometimes it's like I want things for people more than they want it. I'll see somebody, I will be the biggest cheerleader you have, and I will be cheering you on, and I want it for you more than you do. So I am just not going to give access of people to myself anymore. And I hope I didn't squirrel too much with all of this. I didn't want to do too much education today because that's not really what this podcast is about, but I just feel like starting at the beginning of this year, we want to like really hone in on our goals. And because I'm experiencing all these goals and all this reflection, what am I going to do? And like mapping out my year and mapping out what it takes for me to reach those goals. I am so big on it. Like, writing the letter, like, what do I want out of this year? What do I'm thinking about all these things. I'm like, I'm going to share this with my listeners as well because I want y'all to grow with me. I want y'all to literally win at whatever you have going on in your life. I want you to freaking win. I want you to take off. I want you to reach the stars. You literally can do it. You're so capable of it. And if you've been going in circles, just struggling with trying to get there, then I'm telling you that it's much deeper than just the goal. It's going to start with you. It's going to start with the the work that you have to do, the inner work that you have to really do to dig deep and let go. Let go of the grudges, let go of the anger, let go of the the lack of confidence. Like, girl, you are beautiful, you are so worth it, you are amazing, you can do all the things that you say that you want to do. Um so I kind of just wanted to I guess I went on a tangent. I don't even know if any of it made sense, and I hope it did, and I hope you can take something away from it. Um, I don't have this figured out either, but I'm just choosing to be present while I figure it out. And whenever I'm going through something, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to share what I'm going through, and this is it. This is what I'm going through. I'm like my goals, and we're doing fantastic, by the way. Like I feel so freaking good about it. Um, but what I do So yes, Mardi Gras Ball, we are wrapping up. It's this weekend. I am so freaking excited. Um, if you're watching on YouTube, please like this video, follow my channel, and share with a friend. And if you're listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify, please click and download and follow us. I am trying to grow. But even better yet, share the podcast somewhere if it was a good episode. I don't know if it's good or not, but share the shit, okay? Um, so next episode, we're gonna close out January. We're gonna talk about social media. That's another thing in my goal that I've been working on. While some people may be watching me and think I'm pretty social media savvy, like consistent, I'm not being consistent enough because I set my goals and I still don't post enough to grow my page. And so I'm really going to hone in on that. But as I'm educating myself on because algorithms, everything changes. Like when I finally figure something out, it changes. But as I'm re-educating myself on social media, I'm like, why not share this? Why not share people and inspire people of how they can really use their social media? The truth is, if you're, I'm going to pretend like I'm a buyer, I'm looking for something. If your social media is like up to par with sharing what you do, sharing like visuals of what you do, I'm not clicking on your website because your page is telling me everything that I need to know. So, social media is the way. It's like the new website, it's the new cold calling. There's so much you can learn, ins and outs and tips on social media. So, I am going to bring those tidbits to you next episode. And I'll share what I'm learning and what I'm implementing, and hopefully, it can help you do the same. And then moving into February, we're going to go. It's the month of love. I freaking love love. I love Valentine's Day and going on a date with my man. So we're going to talk about love and get a little spicy and do some girly locker room talk. I can't wait for this because I'm going to bring the heat with this one. So again, make sure you have followed, like, share, comment. Also, TikTok while I'm on this. I am going to be vlogging a lot more on my personal TikTok. I'm going to be sharing the ball next weekend on TikTok. So make sure you go follow my personal page. It's Sarah Derwin TX as Texas, but just TX. And then follow me on TikTok on Southern Unscripted too. It's southern.unscript. And yeah, I hope this was valuable. I hope I didn't squirrel too much. I hope it actually made sense and something hit with you. If I hit one person today and it helped them have an epiphany or changed them or something, then I did my job. And we will see you next week. Well, 2 weeks from now, but we'll see you next week. Bye.